this was where we are driving now, was the sea, ladies and gentlemen. So the water on your right hand side was the sea in the past. Isn't that a strange thing to say? Was the sea? What happened to the sea? That means that everything you see on your right hand side is on reclaimed land. So the modern buildings a bit ahead of us, a bit further away is the central railway station. That's all on reclaimed land. 32 kilometers long, 20 miles long, and it closed off the sea. And the sea turned from a tidal saltwater sea into a non-tidal freshwater lake. And so we also changed the name. We called it the IJssel Lake. So instead of a sea, Zuiderzee, tidal and salt, it became a lake, IJssel Lake.
Is there any thinking to make the road 2 lanes?
Is there any thinking of making the road 2 lanes? The answer is no, not at the moment, and also not because kind of parallel to us is a highway. You can see it from here, but it's not too far away. It's the A7, and they have just repaired that highway. It was closed for us, for buses, for almost the whole summer. But that's the reason why they're not really considering at the moment. It's also, I guess, some of the houses on the right or the left-hand side of the road. There are many bus services here, the red buses. There's a bus coming our way or sitting in the bus stop ahead of us. So you'll see many people who go by bicycle to the bus stop and coming from Germany, for example, into the Netherlands. How do we know when we've crossed the border? And then I said, look at the cows. That lake is, you see on the right, it is here. But you can see at the far distance trees, in the fog a little bit, that's, people think it's the other bank. It's not the case at all, not at all. So this used to be the sea here on the right hand side. Can you imagine that once in a while, after a big storm, it created, you know, the sea broke through the dikes and created lakes on our left hand side. So there were shipyards there. Edam got rich because of shipmaking, not of cheese. Here on the right you see some of the houses, pretty, with the fall leaves everywhere. And then, if you can see it on the right hand side, there's the tower of the big Protestant church of Edam there. Yeah, you can see it through the trees, I think. It's a very big church, still in use on Sundays. So milk comes from the black and white cows, chocolate milk from the brown cows. That they pump the water into, and on your right you can clearly see how deep it lays. It's the bottom of that first lake that was drained. So we're going to go into the Beemster, and this road, that's why we like to drive here, tells you, you can see exactly, so they pump water nowadays, of course, with pumping machines, electric. They pump it out of the, because it's now drained and it is dry, but we have so much rain in this country that they still have to make sure they pump water out all the time. And so they do that, of course, not with mills anymore, and then they pump it into the canal left hand side, and from here it goes on and on and on until it ends up in the sea. We've already seen the dairy, nice little town here on the left, Oosthuizen, it's called East Houses, and the goat on the right is again on top of his home. And now we look, it cannot be more clear. Here we go, here we go. Later on the other side of the lake, former lake, we will go up and get out of the boulder. It will become very clear. Sorry that I give you all this information. On the way back, I promise you I'll be quiet. Natural style farms. is the so-called stolp farm, S-T-O-L-P. And they look like what you see on the right and also ahead of us a little bit, like a pyramid style building. And we call that everything under one roof. And they have a high roof because even the haystack, was under the same roof. Yeah, here, up here on the right, you see, leegwater. You see it? If I had a name tag, which I don't, my last name is Leegwater too. Yeah, and I am indeed a direct descendant of this very clever, intelligent engineer who, basically came up with the idea to how to reclaim land. The thing is, I may be a direct descendant, I'm not technical at all. And he was, but they say that I'm much cuter than he was. I don't know if that counts, but in any case. Here's the dike, left and right. And there must be a canal at a higher level than the waterways in the polder, of course. Where's the canal? Where's the canal? Ah, there it is. So, short connection now, and then we are at the second polder, the Schermerhorn. And that's where we find our mill. Okay, I'll just give you practical information. So again, at 9 o'clock they open, maybe they are open already, because we're there in a couple of minutes. And when you go in there, on the left hand side is the film room. And they will play the movie in English, but they will replay it. It's about 7 or 8 minutes. So if you want to do something else first, all fine. If you don't want to see the movie at all fine. Also at the entrance area you will find a little souvenir place. And I mention this because in Alkmaar it's a bit of a problem. So even if you don't need to go, just have a look in there. Who knows?
For the people of Holland, however, water was not only a source of wealth, but also of danger. The Zuiderzee was often stormy and treacherous, despite the construction of seawalls to hold back the waters. Severe flooding was all too common.
Every year, October 8th, they celebrate in Alkmaar the victory. And everything in Alkmaar basically is named after the victory. For example, the park is the Victory Park. The football club, the local football club is Alkmaaria Victrix. It is a city, really. Left hand side, the park is the Victory Park. Yeah, surprise. And then I have to warn you, because on the right hand side there is a bicycle lane. It's painted reddish. And please do never walk on the bicycle lane. There is a piece of part of the sidewalk basically between the road here and the bicycle lane. Use that. It's not very wide, but
on the pavement before you get to the light dog. Oh yeah. That's the first.
the thing is, of course, it's not just the fact you bite in it, the pudding goes all over. I'm not saying that normally, but there's also voluntarily. You're looking here at the way house, not at a church. This is the old way house. Well, it used to be an old hospital many years.
I know those cobblestones were hard to work on anyway. This is my pocket.
They've only made one sound.
No, this is no. There is there is somebody who. Oh, they're working again. Under the guy with the. Thank you. Amstel is owned by Heineken. There's no more separate Amstel factory or whatever brewery. We were not amused because we were ruling, and now we had all of a sudden a king, a single person who ruled the country. When he left, when Napoleon was defeated, the stadtholder came back, the one who was basically the president of the republic, and we were so happy to have him back that we kept at that point the monarchy. So he became, in our book, the first king of the Netherlands, King Willem I.